Hello. Yeah, I'm just making sure the microphone's working. I've got kind of a bit of a different setup here because webcam's kind of coming down from a shelf. Anyway, that's not important. What is important? Um, the last couple of days, I've I've been to different locations. So yesterday it was going to Ely. I think I might have mentioned that on the channel. Ely is it's a beautiful small city, and we have a different naming convention to Americans as to what constitutes a city, and generally it's the the general rule of thumb is if it's got a cathedral, it's a city. So Ely has got a cathedral, but it's a very small town. Um, and today I went to Southall. Some people might call it Southwell, especially Americans. Um, I went I went there today, and I, that's got Southall Minster, and it's kind of a small cathedral. And yeah, Southall is even smaller than Ely, but there was like a desolation there. Um, much as there was when I actually Ely was a bit more busy. To be fair, Ely was a bit more busy. But it's it is we're living in a completely strange times. I I walked to the west front because all cathedrals have a west front. It's in west front, so the altar is at the east. Pretty much like Muslims, you pray towards the east. Well, they pray towards Mecca. But so yeah, I walked around to the west front. It's got quite a bit of land out the front of it. Not as much as there is at Peterborough Cathedral, and not as much as Ely Cathedral neither. But they got like a path walking up, and then there's a bit of grass. There's some graves, as you would expect. There's a few benches plopped around, and there wasn't that many people there. In fact, there was when I made my way to one of the free benches. There were two slightly older women sitting there, just gazing into space, checking their phones, whatever. And that's pretty much what I did when I got there. Just contemplated life. I mean, when I look at some of the cathedrals, and I think that it, it took years to start building Liverpool Cathedral and finish building it. And that was like in the early 20th century. So you think of Southall Minster, also a cathedral, and Ely Cathedral, and they are massive, massive buildings. And I mean, they took like 100 years to build. But you just think, wow, back then when they were building them, fuck, they had like nowhere near the kind of equipment that you'd have now if you wanted to build a cathedral. So there is that thing. I sit there sometimes when I look at a like a magnificent cathedral, and I think, wow, fuck, Jesus. And sometimes because I've got this fertile imagination, sometimes my mind just flicks back to all of that, and I just think this is just fucking incredible. It's incredible that they could have built this, and you kind of picture the scenes. And the thing is with some cathedrals, some of the buildings surrounding it were probably built towards the end of the construction of that cathedral. I mean, look at Peterborough Cathedral for example, and there's a lot of as you walk up to the west front, there's a lot of ancient buildings on the right hand side, but they were built after the cathedral was finished. And when you look at something, although not a massive amount of time after the cathedral was finished, but when you look at something like Southall Minster, and there's nothing around it, it's like um, you think that the buildings that surround it um, were built a long time after Southall Minster was completed, and I see. I love cathedrals, but I have this fear um, of high ceilings. It makes me feel giddy and a bit sort of nauseous when I walk into a place and it's got a really high ceiling. It's like a big, vast open space. Um, and that was why this year I was intending to visit every single cathedral in England. I'm not talking about Wales or Scotland or Northern Ireland. They've got beautiful cathedrals, but I just wanted to do the England tour. I even had it all set out. I was gonna visit a couple of them with my mum, and the rest of them I was gonna visit either by myself and with a few with a guy that I know called Kevin. And firstly, my mum died, and then secondly, we had all this fucking uh, COVID-19 shit. So I couldn't I couldn't visit every single cathedral. Um, and all I've been because cathedrals are now all shut. You can't get in them. You can walk around. You can't walk all the way around Ely because they've closed off like the back gates and everything. Um, and what I really want to do with the book was like interview people from who actually worked in the cathedrals that I visited, and I'd take a couple of photos and just black and white fucking things to put in the book and that. And I really wanted to do that, but like that's all fallen by the wayside. Um, so I mean, yeah, it was kind of bittersweet to go to Ely yesterday. Um, I don't know if I mentioned it. I don't know if it came on air yesterday, but yesterday it was I'd gone there with my mum probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and we were going to go back and we're going to actually go inside because the last time we went we didn't go inside. And but then also on on my second ever date with my, I think it was a second, with my ex-wife, we went to Ely, so it was kind of a bittersweet sort of thing. But I don't want to put the mockers on it. I don't want to bring everybody fucking down because that's not what this channel. Well, that is what this channel's all about. I I feel okay at the moment. I feel okay. Um, Today I read live online. Live online. Sorry, I'm yawning because it is kind of late. I read live online the opening chapters of two of my books. The first one being Beside, and the second one being Muslimic Reagan. And I realised that it's more difficult than you think to actually spend 10 minutes reading a chapter of a book. I'm not a skilled talker, but a communicator. But no, actually, I think I'm kind of a skilled communicator, surely, but not like you know, yeah, not like that. I've still got my meds to take, and um, I am going to take them. Literally, all I've had is like 2 cans of lager. I was I've joined this gaming group where you pretend to be policemen, and it's all geared around the Grand Theft Auto franchise. And I I had to have an interview tonight with the human resources people, Them- and um, it kind of gave me a lot of confidence in this online community because they were very professional. Because I, For the most part, I don't like playing online computer games because there's so much shit like rage quitting, fucking rage kicking, and a lot of them people are like fucking 13-year-old kids, and just like, oh fucking hell, I don't want to deal with this. This was a proper thing, and I spoke to about 4 guys tonight, and they all seem to be very mature. Probably not as old as me, but very, very mature. And I thought that's awesome. It's a role playing community, and you know that's gonna be awesome. It's gonna it's gonna take up some of my time, which especially with this isolating bollocks will be good. But I mean, let me just touch on the isolating shit. I've noticed that coppers are actually literally walking up to people that that are sunbathing like in a park somewhere. And they're fucking like definitely more than 2 yards away from anybody else. And these coppers are walking right in their space and saying, "You can't do this. You're not allowed to sunbathe here." That is bullshit. I tell you what's bullshit, because basically, if you're the the Cornwall police actually find this couple that had driven 300 miles to a beach in Cornwall just so as they could like sit there and sunbathe. And you think, okay, there's a couple, 2 people. You're allowed to go out in groups of 2, unless your family's bigger. Um, and so these people have got fined for travelling somewhere to a secluded beach somewhere where they're just fucking just sitting there and enjoying the sun. That is a fucking waste of resources, and that is one of the things that's fucking wrong with this country. Fucking the police overstepping the mark, overstepping it, definitely. It's like, hold on a second, chap. You've only got to look online and see some of the fucking videos, and they they are annoying because it's annoying because the police don't even know what the fucking rules are, so they're making them up on the fly. Um, yeah, you're not allowed to travel more than one police force. Were condemning people for travelling, I think, 9 miles in the car to go somewhere to walk. Well, here's the thing: if I literally stepped out of my house tomorrow, along with the other 1,000 people that lived in this village, and we all went out for a walk, there's a very fucking good chance that we'd all be within 2 yards of each other. So surely doesn't it make more sense for me to get in my car and travel 20, 30, 40 miles away, somewhere where I know is going to be quiet and secluded, so as I don't bump into people? Apart from fucking coppers who want to knock on your fucking car window and threaten you with a ticket. That's, I am quite angry. This is the thing with borderline personality disorder. You kind of get angry, and the emotions kind of up and down, dip and all that. Um, but I try and hold all that shit in. I try not to get really fucking angry. Which I've had CBT in the past. I've trained as a counsellor, and I know there are some mechanisms that I can use to actually kind of mitigate that anger loss. So yeah, I try and keep calm. But you know what, I'm going to end this video. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do another video pretty much straight after, and it's going to be it's I need to do the next video. The next video is me and my ex, that kind of thing, and it's something which will strike a chord to like anybody who's either recently separated, from a partner, and they're probably still trying to find themselves and like get through it. Um, but I wanted this video to be really fucking cheerful. So anyway, what I'm going to say is thank you for watching. If you are watching the channel, which I don't think anybody fucking is, then stay tuned for the next one. But thank you for watching. It is fucking 1:15, and I'm going to do a quick video, about 15 minutes, like this one. I'm going to keep them all fucking tight now, tight as a mouse's ear, as they say. So I see you in a few minutes, and I'm kind of hoping that you can see the happiness and the sadness and the way it all tumbles away. And I feel absolutely fine and in a perfect position to talk about exes. And that's what the next video is going to be about. Thank you for watching, guys, and stay tuned. I'll see you next time.